Are you sick of the painful diets where you eat next to nothing but don't ever really see any results? Well, holistic nutrition expert Dr. Libby Weaver has just released a book called The Calorie Fallacy, and it promises to turn the idea of dieting and calorie counting pretty much well and truly on its head, isn't it? I read this book cover to cover over the weekend, absolutely loved it, couldn't stop reading it, and it makes all the really tricky biochemistry, sciencey types of things really easy to understand. But the most important thing, the standout thing, is that dieting doesn't work, doesn't it?
It doesn't, Ali. So many people gain and lose the same 20 kilos for their whole life. And so when the focus is on diet, it's all about weight and it's all about what you can't have and you're not doing enough exercise. And I really want to teach people that it's all about nourishment. It's time to stop dieting and start nourishing. The calorie equation, i.e. the concept that our body shape and size is entirely down to how much we eat versus how much we move, was first published in 1918. And the world is so different now. So our food supply is different, our stress is very different, and that has all had an impact on metabolism that the calorie equation just doesn't consider. So it's time for a new paradigm, and the calorie fallacy offers that.
And you sort of started on this journey with your own experience, didn't you? Going from being a 2-hour runner every single day, and when you stopped that lifestyle, you thought, I'll probably put on weight, and you didn't.
The precise opposite happened, and it fried my brain because based on how I'd been educated, the opposite was supposed to happen, and it was that sent me back to my geeky biochemistry textbooks to help people understand what leads the human body to get the message to store fat and burn fat, and the answers are in the book.
And there's so many little things that totally blew my mind, especially regarding, I guess, alcohol, coffee especially. That's a major. I wanted you to talk us through some of the basics. And another one that people will find interesting is, everyone thinks if you want to lose weight, drink water with your meal, it'll fill you up, you'll eat less and then you'll lose weight. But it's not that at all, is it?
I so love that you've read it.
Yeah.
So when we drink water with our meals, it can change the way our stomach acid is able to break food down, which can also have an impact on what we're doing with those nutrients. So drinking water between meals, not with meals, is a great step. And also when we consume what I call liver loaders, so you mentioned alcohol and caffeine, for example, that asks the liver to do its critical detox work. And we can overload that essentially. And when there are too many problematic substances going in, the body has no choice but to store it in our body fat. So that as well can contribute. So,
in some of your case studies though, some people would completely, they'd put on weight, their body would change, and the only thing they would have changed, they would have said to you, I'm not ingesting any more calories, I'm drinking just a bit of extra black coffee, but that would actually be what it was.
And black coffee contains no calories, but yet their weight was going up sometimes, by 4 kilos over a monthly period, and they couldn't understand it. So there are so many aspects to our metabolism that communicates to the body that it's safe to burn body fat. The calorie equation, I think, is outdated, and it is time that people's mindset was updated to one of nourishment. So much so that I've created a tour called The Road to Sustainable Weight Loss, and Lexus have been really generous and given me a car to take around the country to bring this to 20 towns and cities.
Yes, I'm glad you mentioned that. So you've already had one in Auckland last night, 1,000 people came, so 20 dates around the country. We've put the details up on our website because you have such an enormous following over the last few years. It's really, really grown. You're huge in Australia. I saw Hugh Jackman is a big fan of yours as well. Just finally, the really interesting thing as well is there's so much this raw food trend. A lot of you've got Real Food Kitchen, Real Food Chef here, but you say in the book, look, basically organic food, yes, it is horrendously expensive, but it's not the end of the world if you can't afford to buy it. It's more an ideal.
Of course, and when it comes to food, nature gets it right, and it's potentially human intervention that can get it so wrong. And so the more we move towards eating more and more real food, the body has all the equipment inside it to digest that. The more we head in that direction, the healthier we become. And it's a fallacy that we've got to lose weight to be healthy. The opposite is actually true. We've actually got to be healthy to lose weight. So that's the big piece of information I want people to take home, and that the calorie fallacy brings to life.
Yeah, well, it certainly made sense to me. It was all in layman's terms. It's an excellent read. Dr. Libby, thank you so much for coming in. It's a pleasure to have you on.
Thank you. There's more info at drlibby.com.
Perfect. Well, and yes, we've got the details on the website.